Hello everyone. So I don't purport to be an expert at this game, but I built something that I think is pretty cool, and I know there are a lot of new players out there wondering how to do things, how to be successful, so I thought I would share one way to play this game. Again, I'm not saying this is the only way to play, I'm not saying this is the right way or the best way, but this is how I play, and I'm having some success with the goals I'm trying to achieve. So I wanted to start by showing you just a working train system. You can see there's a whole bunch of stations here, the depot, refueling. There's this train station that picks workers up and takes them to the chemical plant, and then pick up from the chemical plant, which turns around and goes off to export on the right side of the screen. And then there's two imports over here. So this is a oil that imports to the chemical plant, and then this import is food and meat. And those go into this warehouse here, and meat storage, and then you can see some trucks going to get those and take them into the city. So this is the city that I started with. I just put all the basic needs, shopping mall, cinema, school, kindergarten, around a train station, and then put residential places around those, and you can see these should all be within range of basically everything they need. And then as the city grew, I built some stuff out here, and these people, like this guy, can't walk to the shopping mall, but he can walk to the bus station, and then the bus takes him to here, so then they can go to the shopping mall, or they can go to the train station to work. And then this university was getting overcrowded, so I went ahead and built a medical university. Right now, everybody's a lot more educated than they used to be, so they're not very crowded, but as I add more people, maybe they will be. Anyways, this is what I started with, just a city, getting oil and then exporting the oil. Some people think that's cheating because oil's too valuable. I did at first. I played a few games and then eventually decided, you know what, that's just how I want to play this one. So if you don't want to play by exporting oil, that's up to you, but that's how I started this game. Anyway, so this is basically the area that I started with, just getting oil and then exporting it, and I'll show you the export area over here. You can see some waiting lanes, and I'll go ahead and show you how the semaphores are set up. So basically, because this is the same in and out, these don't need to be chain signals, but these are all just signals waiting to enter this area, and then as soon as this train leaves, he passes by a signal. This area is a lot more interesting. So the idea behind signals is you want chain signals always going into the intersections. So these trains are waiting on chain signals. And then any signals that exit the intersection are regular signals. So this one exits, that's a regular signal. Exits, that's a regular signal. Exits, that's a regular signal. But all the entrances are chain signals. Anyways, I'll show some other train intersections in a bit here. So I've got that area, and then I wanted to get into steel. So this over here is the city that works on steel. They also have their own university, headquarters of the Communist Party, and a TV station. But you can see I started with basically the same setup: shopping mall, cinema, school, kindergarten, bus station, built stuff around that, and then anyone like over here who can't walk to the shopping mall can walk to a bus station and then gets bused into this area. So all the workers go here and get picked up by trains, taken to, this is one train station they go to. So this area has 2 coal mines, 2 coal processing centers that puts coal in here, and then that gets sent to the power plant and the steel plant. And iron was a little farther away, so you can see this train bypassing this station. He goes through the tunnel, comes all the way up here, and then his workers go to an iron mine and an iron processing plant, and that gets transported all the way over here, where then it gets used to make steel. Right now I need to add a medium storage to the steel plant because I'm losing money by not having space to put steel before trains can come pick it up to export it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward because I think videos are better at night. But I do want to talk about this intersection here, which you can't really see right now, but I'll put semaphores on, so that should help. You can see that it's a one-way intersection, so trains come from the upper left and move to the lower right. I used to have this being a two-way intersection, but I was getting too many trains that would bypass the chain signal. I'll show you up here. They would bypass this chain signal and then get stuck facing an outgoing train. I don't know how that happens. It shouldn't happen. This is how the game developer says that you should build two-way stations, but it was happening. So I made it a one-way station and haven't had any jams since. So again, trains come in, then they turn around. The problem is that this happens sometimes. So this train is going to the iron mine over here, but for some reason he doesn't go on this turnaround. And I think that's because if I have a train here and a train here, and then the train sees a way that it can go here, and usually they use this turnaround, which is why I built it, but sometimes they'll insist on going all the way, like down here, using this turnaround, and then coming all the way back. And unfortunately that takes more than 5 hours. So when this train gets back, well, it's already empty. But if there were passengers in it, he would be empty. The other problem with that is I have these bullet trains taking students into the other town, and this bullet train is now stuck behind this slow train. So in my opinion, that's a bug. If a train has a faster route that it can do a loop, even if it's already blocked by 2 other trains, like right now this is blocked by 2 other trains, he should wait and take the faster route rather than going all the way across the map and taking the slow route just because there's no other trains on it at the moment. But by adding this loop here, I've cut those in half maybe. Obviously it still happens, as you can see. So let's see what this guy does. Okay, he's going to go around the loop because there's only 1 train on this part of the loop. Anyways, this is the Steel City, and then this also has farms by it. So I've got 1 farm here, I've got another here, another here, and then the 4th one is up here. So all of these farms have road cargo stations, and so all the crops that get put in the farm go to the cargo station and then get transported to these grain silos, which are empty because the grain train just picked up. So that train delivers to this city up here, which originally just started as another oil production place. Basically I just had 2 residential housing areas and a fire station, so that way if any of this caught on fire they could put it out. But then eventually I decided, why not put some production up here? So that train full of grain is going to take it up here, dump the grain here, and then that goes into food, alcohol, and slaughterhouses, which eventually become meat. The slaughterhouses and the meat production are something that I would do differently next time. 1 slaughterhouse can actually handle the production of 50 livestock farms, so I'm way underproducing meat here. I think the best way to do that is to have tons and tons of farms, ship them each to like 1 livestock farm per set of fields, and then have all of those train to 1 slaughterhouse, but next time. So anyways, this warehouse gets alcohol and food in it, and then this train picks up alcohol and food and meat. The meat here is trucked from the slaughterhouse over here, and then this train delivers it back to this guy here, and then it's trucked into town, and then he also delivers it to this guy here, and then it's trucked into town here. So ideally I'm producing all of my own food, meat, and alcohol. In reality, I'm not sure that I'm there yet. Yeah, you can see I'm still importing quite a bit of food. Not a lot of meat, not a lot of alcohol. Mostly I have to work on food production, so I think that's just going to involve getting more fields and producing more crops. So that's the point of this city here. Again, just started as basically a fire station to cover the oil wells, and then the extra oil is picked up by this train and taken down to that other chemical plant, and then became food production. So then over here I've got another iron mine. Reason being that I had 2 coal mines, 1, 2, and they were way outproducing the iron mine, so I had tons and tons of coal here, and then not a lot of iron here, and the steel mill was underproducing. You can see now that I've got both of those that the steel mill is overproducing, so I need to figure out again how to export steel faster. But anyway, so the whole point of this city is you can see the same setup: small shopping center, cinema, all the stuff people need surrounding a train station. The train station takes people to the iron mine, and then the iron mine has a train aggregate export, which just takes the iron down to here. And you can see that he's unloading into here. So there's that. Just to show you another more complex train intersection, there's this guy. I'll turn on semaphores. So this is your basic like train two-way input-output train section. Again, chain signal going in, double chain signal blocking off the station, and then regular signal going out. Again, just the basic idea: anytime you have an intersection, you want chain signals going in. So here's chain signal in, chain signal in, chain signal in, chain signal in, and then a regular signal going out. So the chain signal will keep trains from entering the intersection until they can clear it. So this guy's waiting until he can clear the intersection, which is when this train is out of it. And then this will mean as soon as they leave the intersection, it'll be clear for other trains to pass. So you can see I've got a whole bunch of these setups: chain signals going in, regular signals going out. This is something that I would redo. Shorter trains have the ability to come in on one track and go out on another track. But if like the oil train comes in on this track, he then has to leave on this track because the tail of his train will be stuck on this out area. And then I wanted to put like a C shape here, so that way trains could, like this train, if you wanted to refuel, he could hop into the refueling area, but it wouldn't fit. So I just put a balloon here. So if there's a train at this station that needs to refuel, he'll come down here, use the balloon, go refuel, and then go back, and then carry on his way, probably to pick up crops. But you can see, again, the same setup. This whole area is one intersection. Chain signals going in, regular signals going out. The only other piece of advice I'd have is, I guess, saving money when building electrical poles. You can see how far apart these electrical poles are. And that's because I built them over railroad tracks. Same thing works if you're building them over roads. So if you were going to do this without the railroad track, you'd have to build just over 4 of them, which would cost 10,000 rubles at the moment. But by building 2 of them, it cost only 4,000 rubles, so it costs less than half as much if you zigzag over railroad tracks like this. And you can see that I've done that in quite a few places. It does take longer, obviously, but early game when you're short on money, it really, really helps. So anyway, I'll just leave the camera here for a little bit so you can see this train yard at work. I haven't had any slowdowns in a while. The one problem I had was when I grew a train, this zigzag here was much closer to the refueling station, and it couldn't switch sides because the train was stuck on the side that it came in. But aside from that, this whole train area has been working swimmingly. And again, the only rule you have to follow is, here's an intersection, chain signal going in, chain signal going in, chain signal going in, regular signal going out. Here's another intersection, chain signal going in, chain signal going in. These chain signals go into the intersection, and then regular signal going out. The reason I don't have a regular signal here is because any train that stopped would block the road. So I put the regular signals here so they get out of the road before they move along. But again, every intersection you see, chain signals going in, regular signals going out. Here's another just standard 2-way train station. Chain signal going in, double chain signals, so when they come out, they have to wait until they can clear this, and then regular signal going out. I guess another piece of advice that I'd come up with is two-way intersections work if you have trains coming in only from one direction. But I think the real problem is when you have trains coming in from both directions, like this guy. Here's the student train. So the student train comes from this direction, and when this was a two-way intersection, it would come in from this way, and trains would also come in from this way. So you can see right now, this guy has actually gone past a chain signal when he shouldn't have. And normally that would cause a problem, but because this is a one-way intersection, it doesn't cause a problem. So I think from now on, I'm going to build all my train stations to be one-ways, because that means they're going to have far fewer problems. You can see that, like, this guy I built to be a one-way here. Train comes in, 2 tracks both going the same way, and then going out 2 tracks both going the same way. I just think it causes fewer problems. If you're into realism, it's also theoretically more realistic, because trains don't usually turn around in switch directions in real life. Nowadays they do. They might have engines on both ends. But it's still, I think, more common for trains to turn around using tracks rather than just for the conductor to get out, walk to the other end, and get in and drive the other way. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me on that. I like it. Do what you want. It's your game. But anyways, one-way intersections, if you're having trouble, try changing to one-way intersections. And I promised that I would leave the camera here for a bit, just so you can see all the trains coming and going. Anyways, I hope this helped. I hope this inspired you. I'm not self-sufficient yet, obviously. I'm still not importing a lot of food right now. The next thing I'm going to do is get on clothing production, and then probably electronic production. I'm not doing any of my own construction. That's sort of a decision that I made, because construction takes a long time. And again, the beauty of this game is you can play how you want it. So if you want to play a game where you do all your own construction, you do you. I just thought it would be better to export really expensive things like oil and steel, and then not have to worry about the time it takes to build things. So anyways, now I promise I'm done. I'll fast forward through the night, and then you can see the day, and then, yeah, hope this helped.